Hello friends, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys. I hope that all of you are doing great. Now I use the opportunity in this video today to sort of share my updated thoughts on a few fragrances that I've reviewed in the past 6 or 7 months or so. Today I'm going to talk about a total of 7 scents and for most of them I didn't, my reviews weren't that flattering and I've been giving this scents like a second or a third chance lately, and in today's video I just wanted to update you with my final thoughts about all those 7 scents. I'll start the video with a few fragrances that I have not changed my mind since I did my reviews of those scents. The first one comes from the house of Armaf and it's called Tyrant. And this thing, I didn't like it very much when I initially bought it and reviewed it. And unfortunately, my opinion still remains the same. Now, this thing is a sort of a hybrid mix of two DNAs. On one hand you got a strong Bulgari tiger vibes out of it that's mixed with something like Savage EDT, and Armaf often do that, mixing a few different DNAs, and sometimes they have some great hits, some great results, but in this case for me this has been an absolute fail. This is just too synthetic, just too sweet, and lacks the performance. If you're looking for a tiger clone, there are better options like Alchem Silver from Lattafa, like TRM from Rue Broca, and Turati Blue from Afnan. All those three do a far better job at copying tiger's DNA, and all three of them have better performance and higher quality scent compared to Tyrant. The next fragrance that I didn't change my mind about is again from the house of Armaf, and it's again from that very same line, Odyssey line, and it's called Odyssey Aqua. Now this thing is a clone of Paco Rabanne's Invictus Platinum, and to be honest it does a good job at copying the scent of Platinum. So in that regard it's not a bad fragrance, but as you probably saw, the atomizer is almost complete trash, and just this fragrance, like with the original scent, it just does not work for me. That mix of some citrusy notes with quite a lot of greenness that you get in the original scent as well. This also comes kind of synthetic to my nose and lacks the performance as well. And all in all, it's not a complete fail in my opinion, but still, I have not changed my mind on Odyssey Aqua, and this is still a no-go for me. Now, the next fragrance is going to be probably a bit controversial, like my original review of this one was. It seems to got, it gotten a lot of negative comments and stuff like that. I know that this fragrance that I'm going to talk about in a second has its following. And don't get me wrong, I know that my review of this one maybe sounded a little bit harsh, but the reality is that I actually enjoyed the scent. The fragrance that I'm talking about comes from the house of Hamidi, and it's called Addicted Intense. Now, first of all, this is, the Hamidi brand is under the same umbrella of sterling perfumes like you get with Armaf. So, this quality-wise, it should be alright. And it has a nice sprayer, by the way. And I can tell you one thing. Scent-wise, the quality of the scent of Hamidi Addicted Intense is actually very, very nice. And to be honest, this is probably, just on a scent basis alone, this is probably my most favorite clone of Creed Aventus. It has a very nice quality, very high quality of the scent. It catches some of that classic Creed Aventus, spirit very nicely. So, regarding the actual scent, I have absolutely no problem with this fragrance. In fact, I like it quite a lot. But as I said in my original review, I had one problem with this fragrance, and that was the performance. Now, on skin this stays for quite a while, but it just does not project as good as I wanted it to project, and as good as some people claim to project. Now, some people were saying that this is a nuclear performing fragrance, a beast mode, room filler and whatnot, but in my opinion and in my experience, this still lacks the performance. I've had this bottle for something like 7 or 8 months now, so it has had enough time to macerate. So maceration is not a problem with this. I wore this a few days ago, and as I said again, I really enjoyed the scent of this fragrance, but it just lacks the performance and especially the projection. And for me, that's down to the fact that this is alcohol-free type of scent of fragrance, so it contains no alcohol, and I think that alcohol just helps with the projection of the fragrance. This just sits close to the skin. It smells very nice. It lasts for quite a long on skin. Still not a beast mode performer when it comes to longevity on skin, but it's all right. I don't have a problem with that. But my problem has been with the projection, and unfortunately, as I said, 6, 7, 8 months down the road, my opinion on the performance has stayed the same, and I think that they are far better performing clones of Creed Aventus. But when it comes to the actual scent of this fragrance, I can tell you that I really enjoyed this one, and this is one of the best clones scent-wise to Creed Aventus. And the last fragrance that I'm going to quickly talk about, that I have not changed my opinion on, but take it as a positive thing in this case, comes from Zimaya, and it's called Sharaf Blend. Now this thing saw a lot of hype in the last few months of last year, and for a good reason. This is a fantastically done clone of Kilian's Angel Share. Scent-wise is absolutely fantastic. I really like the scent of this fragrance. The presentation is gorgeous. It has super high quality when it comes to the actual, bottle design and all that. It has a sort of a pressurized atomizer, and I absolutely love the scent of this fragrance. Now, it's not an identical scent to the original. It lacks a bit of that, boozy note that you get out of the original Angel Share, but on the dry down is very close to Angel Share. The opening feels like a mix between Angel Share and Lattafa Camera. But all in all, this is an absolutely fantastic scent, and I still think that this is the best option when it comes to a clone of Angel Share on the markets right now. I don't want you to think that all my sort of updated thoughts on the fragrances that I'm going to show in this video will be negative thoughts. So let's move on to a few fragrances that I've actually had a sort of a positive change of mind, change of thoughts about. The first one comes from the house of Lattafa, and it's called Ansaam Silver. And this thing is a clone of Azaro's The Most Wanted. Now, initially when I got this fragrance, I wasn't very pleased with the scent. I'm not the biggest fan of the original scent neither. Also, the build quality could be a bit higher because the color around the atomizer sometimes comes off or stays inside the cap, which can be a pain. But scent-wise, this actually has really grown on me a little bit. Now, the atomizer is a bit trashy, to be honest, but the scent, I've changed my mind a little bit about the scent, and I've been enjoying this more compared to when I first got it and reviewed it. The next fragrance that's given me, better experience compared to when I first reviewed it comes from Fragrance World, and it's called Starman Nebula, and this thing is a clone of Amen Pure Malt. Now, originally, when I reviewed this fragrance, I really liked it, but there were two things that were not up to par in my opinion. The first one has to do with the scent, the actual scent, and that was the fact that this had quite a harsh opening in the, when I first tried it and reviewed it. It felt kind of light, kind of low quality, and kind of harsh in the opening. But a few months down the road, maybe again maceration has helped a little bit with the scent profile. But now the opening feels a lot richer, a lot better. And that harshness that I initially experienced with this fragrance has almost completely vanished, which is a great thing. The other sort of a complaint that I had about this one was the performance. This wasn't a great performer when I first got it. Now, even today, it's not a great performer, but it seems like, again, maceration has helped a little bit with the performance, and now this is giving me slightly better performance. So, when it comes to Starman Nebula all around, I've had a really better experience compared to when I reviewed this one. And the last fragrance that I'm going to talk about in this video comes again from the house of Zimaya, and it's called Sharaf the Club. Now, this is from the same series of fragrances as Sharaf Blend. Design bottle-wise, the design is completely the same, apart from the coloring of the bottle. Now, this thing is not a straight-up clone, but a sort of a twist on Creed Aventus's DNA. And when I initially reviewed this fragrance, I had two complaints about this one. The first one was the fact that, at the end of the day, this is yet another Creed Aventus clone, and we already have hundreds of those. My second complaint was about the fact that this didn't have very good performance. Now, when it comes to the first part, this fragrance has started to grow on me a little bit. I've been giving it a few wearings, and I started to kind of appreciate the fact that this is not a straight up clone of Creed Aventus. This feels like a more fruity, you know, fresher and like a more soapy version of Creed Aventus, and I started to appreciate that twist. And rather than just going for a straight up cloning the original scent, you know, Zimaya and Afnan, which is the owner of Zimaya, have added an interesting twist, and the actual scent twist has actually started to grow on me a little bit, so that's a good, a positive thing. And the second thing is that this has started to perform quite a bit better compared to when I first got it. Initially this was giving me about 7 hours of performance, but lately I've been using this one and I've had over 8 hours of performance, so you know, I've had a very positive change of mind when it comes to Sharaf the Club from Zimaya. So guys, in today's video I tried to quickly share with you my updated thoughts on the 7 fragrances that I have reviewed in the past 6 months or so. I hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next one. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.